and welcome to this session on identifying the hydraulic and pneumatic components used in vehicles. At the end of this exercise, you shall be able to maintain safety and control of hydraulic and pneumatic components.
Let's start this session with the basic definition of hydraulic systems. The pressurized liquid, that is oil, transmits energy to an actuator for performing work. The components of this system are power sources, control valves, and actuators. The other type is the pneumatic system. In a pneumatic system, compressed air transmits energy to an actuator for performing work. The components of this system are the power source, control valves, and actuators. The master cylinder is a device that converts force, that is usually from the driver's foot, into hydraulic pressure. The purpose of this device is to control the slave cylinders located at the other end of the hydraulic system. When the driver presses the clutch pedal, the exerted force pushes the piston cylinder, thereby converting the applied force into a hydraulic pressure. This pressure pumps hydraulic fluid through the lines that transmits pressure to a slave cylinder of the clutch system. Clutch fluid based on its application. Each master cylinder has a reservoir supplying brake or clutch fluid based on its application. These fluids aid in preventing the entry of air into the master cylinder. A slave cylinder is a component of an automobile system that helps transfer mechanical energy from one section of the vehicle to the another by using hydraulics. For a vehicle's clutch pedal to perform correctly, there must be effective linkage with the transmission system, which can be manually or hydraulic. Here comes our slave cylinder to provide an effective connection. The slave cylinder makes the required connection by using hydraulic pressure against its internal piston to the transfer force from one part of the transmission system to another. Hydraulic oars are flexible, reinforced tubes designed to transport hydraulic fluid within high pressure systems, connecting components, valves, actuators, and tools. Hydraulic hoses are crucial in hydraulic systems and are reinforced due to high pressure operations. You should keep these things in mind before choosing a hydraulic hose. The dimensions, performance specification, manufacturing materials, and features should be considered. We have already discussed the basic definition of a pneumatic system. Now let's dive into this topic. The air pressure is used to convert the atmospheric air into compressed air by forcing the atmospheric air under pressure to create potential energy that can be stored in a tank or reservoir for later use. Intake stroke. The downward stroke of the piston creates a low pressure within the cylinder than the atmospheric pressure outside the compressor. This causes air to flow past the inlet valve into the cylinder. As the piston moves up, it compresses air. Pressure keeps the inlet valve closed, and when the piston reaches the top, pressurized air goes to the reservoir through the discharge valve. This is called a compression stroke. Air compressors are more powerful than standard tools and do not need separate bulky motors. This is one of the major advantages of an air compressor. Storing too much compressed air in the reservoir is dangerous. So, an unloader valve that is known as pressure relief valve or air regulator is a safety instrument that should be used. An unloader valve on an air compressor controls the tank pressure by venting excess air when it is surpasses the preset limit. An unloader valve can also be located next to the compressor on larger scale air compressors. Next, let us have a look at the brake valve. The foot valve draws compressed air from the reservoir and sends it to the brake chamber to stop the wheel when the driver applies the brake. The driver can control the amount of air supply by applying the required pressure on the brake treadle. The driver adjusts brake pressure by moving the treadle, but the maximum pressure will be less than the reservoir. Releasing the treadle will disturb the airflow and then will disengage the brakes. The brake chamber is used to transfer the force of compressed air to mechanical linkages. A brake chamber consists of a circular container divided by a flexible diaphragm in the middle. Air pressure pushes the diaphragm away from the pressure, driving the push rod outwards against the slack adjuster. There are two front and two rear brake chambers in the vehicle. The force depends on the air pressure and diaphragm size of the brake chamber. Brake chambers transfer compressed air force into mechanical action for applying the vehicle's brake. A slack adjuster is a component of the air brake system that adjusts brakes as necessary when the vehicle is in operation. It is used to convert linear motion into rotary motion of the S-cam, which is a device that pushes the brake shoes against the brake drum. The slack adjuster helps maintain the right distance between the brake lining and the brake drum for effective braking. An air brake pressure gauge is a crucial component in vehicle with air brakes, indicating the pressure in the air tanks for safe operation. Brake pressure gauges on the instrument panel accurately measures brake fluid pressure, aiding in diagnosing brake system issues and ensuring proper brake operation.
Let us summarize this topic on identify of hydraulic and pneumatic components used in vehicles. In this topic, you have learned the definition, function, and the working of hydraulic and pneumatic systems and their components.